Alright, this is the Freestyle Corona blog. What that is I down a Corona as fast as I possibly can and then I start blogging. Um, as you see, I've acquired an accent. It won't go very far because I don't know how to use my accent very well. It's things that I've stolen across the years from people that have actual accents. But what happens is when it comes to regional things and things of that nature, it can't go very far because most people can detect. They say, are you from New Zealand? And I say, no, I'm not from New Zealand, I'm from Australia. And then they say, Australia? That doesn't sound Australian. And then all of a sudden it turns back into this, and here we are. And I look kind of stupid, but it's kind of funny, and that's the game. I'm kind of dressed like a jackass, more or less. The reasoning behind that is because I just wanted to. I have this hoodie from eons ago, this Dead Serious, this is a Friday the 47th hoodie. That's like big freestyle hoodie that came out maybe like 2-3 years ago. And what's funny is this hoodie was selling for like, I think about $300 or something like that. I think I sold one of them actually. I bought another one. Yeah, I sold it for like $300, but it came out for about $130. Sold it for $300, and that's kind of how hype works. For those of you not familiar with what a hype is pretty much just fuel behind the fire. That's when pretty much anybody builds this so much via the internet, forums, whatever they're doing, they build this into clothing, and what happens is it transitions into all these people wanting the same limited item at the same time. And when somebody does that consecutively over and over for a period of time, that's how you develop what you call a hype beast. A hype beast is pretty much anybody that just follows really limited clothes, gets into things that are kind of obscure but not at the same time. They're obscure enough to the point where not everybody can get them, but at the same time they're marketed well enough to the point that people know what they are and they'll recognize it, and you'll achieve some sort of status via those things. Right now I'm actually working on developing my own clothing company, so I'm learning like a lot more, not about hype beasts, I knew that about a while ago, but I'm learning about what makes people feel good. And so sometimes I actually just dress like a jackass just to kind of think about what other people think about. Because fashion, it seems really rigid, but it's not. Once you get into, you start really thinking about it, what really happens with fashion is it's limitless. You could do whatever. You can walk around with nothing on, and if you're doing it the right way, that's fashionable. And so I think about this day to day, and sometimes I just go, hey, let me just dress like a jackass for a day and kind of experience what somebody else experiences, because that's not really, even though I'm saying dress like a jackass, you're not dressed like a jackass, you're dressed differently than you normally would be. And so it's given me a lot of perspective. I think about what makes people happy, what works for people that aren't Larry. It's something that's just, it's so personal to people. Their fashion tells you a lot. The things that they wear, the things that they chose to put on their body to adorn their body, it lets you know who they are, even if it's just something as minimal as a t-shirt. I mean, I wear t-shirts, I wear flip-flops, gym shorts, but you can kind of tell who I am via those things if you're looking hard enough. And so today that's kind of what I'm thinking about, because I actually did a video blog beforehand, and I kind of went over some other stuff, but my point is, this is what we're on now. I think about, what do people want? Like when they think about fashion, what is it that they're thinking about? What is it that they're trying to project? What I always wonder is, I think about the movie The Matrix. And in the movie The Matrix, whenever somebody went into, like, they went from the real world and they transitioned into the Matrix, they had different clothes, right? And they had like these snazzy clothes that were well designed, and but they were different, they were dramatic, all these things that nobody was really dressed the same except for Agent Smith, who was amazing because he has the same last name as me. But everybody was conveying their persona via what they were wearing. It was their image of what they should look like in their mind. And so I think about that for the real world. I wonder, what do people, if they could look a certain way, what would they look like? I have friends that talk about, wearing kilts. I have friends that, wear fitteds. I have friends that wear, jeans all day. And then I have people that wear all sorts of various things, shop in thrift stores and freestyle and do everything. But I think about, what is your ultimate you? And that's kind of my question is, what is their ultimate version of them? And at the same time, I'm also thinking, although you have a ultimate version of yourself, I think, in my mind, what could I market towards you, or what could I build for you? If I was to build a world and build a vision for you, what could I do that would best appeal to you, but also, at the same time, add my own creative flair and things like that? And so that's what I've been thinking about, and I've been thinking about like all sorts of different concepts. I've had a couple that I've been holding on to for maybe like a year or two, some a little bit longer than that. But what I have to do at the same time is I have to see, because I want my vision to be different. I really have to see, what other people are thinking, get feedback on those things, and also figure out, what's out there already. There's a lot of things that I've been like dealing with and thinking about, and I've run by people and they sound great, but then I'll look them up and somebody else kind of went that same direction. And if you're trying to be different, a little bit avant-garde, you don't want to head the exact same direction. You can kind of twist it up, but you don't want to be on the same page. And so when I think about those things, I've been just getting feedback from everybody and going into that. And I've been like really thinking about the concepts of love, finance, independence. I've been thinking about disregard. I've been thinking about all these things that resonate with people. And I guess it's just funny to like, now that I'm running into these people and asking them these things, it's funny to find, you get perspective on the people that you thought you knew, and you find out things that you just didn't know, and it's kind of interesting. So that's what I've been doing over the last 2 or 3 days, and what I've really come to think about as well is how to make these things appeal to just the masses, and that's like really tough to do, because you can have a vision and it can be sort of rigid, but at the same time, you don't necessarily want to be just like, this is how it is, that's it, that's all, you're an idiot, and so that's kind of what I've been mulling over. And I'm like really looking for feedback from a lot of my friends, family, peers, everything about just what they think about this. And that's what I got for now on that subject. Outside of that, it's just been freestyle. We'll get into other things at a different point, but I said I was going to upload a video, so this is the one that I'm going to upload, and what I'm really going to ask of you is just tell me what you think.